Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lizzy for those of you who don't know, and I am so excited to film today's video, but I'm also kind of terrified because I am going to be reacting to 1-star reviews of my 5-star books. I'm nervous. I am genuinely so nervous because it's hard to see people hate on a book you love, and believe me, I've had my fair share of people telling me they don't like the books that I've read. Let's do a little disclaimer right now. Everyone can love or hate whatever books they want. Just because you might not like the books I read, that's totally fine, and vice versa, because we are human beings and we can choose not to like something if we don't want to, and just because you like it and I don't, that's totally fine, and vice versa. Okay, so even though this will be like extremely painful for me to read, I'm just gonna have to deal with it because that's just what we're gonna have to do. So yeah, I'm gonna be basing this off of Goodreads reviews. So the first book that I'm actually gonna get into is Reckless by Elsie Silver, and I'm just gonna put a little picture up here because I read it on my Kindle and I don't have it with me physically. But yeah, this is probably my most recent 5-star read. This book was just so incredible. I genuinely fell in love with Elsie Silver's writing. She just created the most wonderful love story ever, and I just fell in love with the characters and just the emotional weight of the book. It was just so good. So yeah, that is the first book that we are going to be reading 1-star reviews of, and yeah, I'm terrified. Let's get our Goodreads up and then we'll see what people have to say. I'm so scared. Thankfully, the majority of 1-star reviews is so minuscule, so you know what, that's a good sign. This has an average rating of a 4.45 stars, so that's pretty good. Okay, here's one that really hurts. Such a waste of time 1. I really liked the earlier scenes. This seemed to be written half-heartedly. The only good thing about this book was Vivi. How is it such a waste of time? This book was not such a waste of time. In fact, my time only gained. Okay? I didn't hate it, but objectively it was a 1-star. I feel like when I objectively don't really like a book, it is automatically like a 3 stars for me. So we might just have different levels of star ratings, and that's nice. That's fine. Snooze fest. Snooze fest? Are we being serious? Okay, basically a lot of them are saying it's boring, which I'm confused about because this book had the craziest time jumps and the craziest almost twist that it literally always kept me on my toes. I was never bored reading this book because you are getting constant development of the story. So you know what, that's fine. So basically most of these are saying it's boring, which I did not find it boring at all. But that's fine because we can have differing opinions. So those are the only 1-star reviews that I could really gather on, because honestly this book has pretty high ratings, I'm gonna be honest. But the next book that we are going to be getting into is actually The Dead Romantics by Ashley Poston. This book genuinely, it changed my life. I don't know what to tell you. It is such an incredible romance. It's the most interesting romance that I've ever read. It is just so emotional and so different, and also I feel like this is the perfect book to read in Halloween, fall time, because it literally is about it's so incredible and it's so atmospheric of that time of the year, and I just literally fell in love with this book. And I think I remember crying so hard because there's a part of this book that is just so heart-wrenching, but it's so good nonetheless. So yeah, this is gonna hurt because I really love this one. What? Okay, all right. How does this only have a 3.99 average rating on Goodreads? Should have stayed dead. That hurt. That hurt. Oh my gosh, Cassandra is unhinged. I made an account just to review this book. I was so disappointed by this and cannot believe all the good reviews for it. I almost DNF'd like 80 times because of the I can't read. Millennial Wattpad comment like sentences in this. Come on, Cassandra, that's a little dramatic. That's a little dramatic. This book was incredible. This is marked as romance, but I felt zero chemistry between the main characters. I don't know how in their situation, how did you feel zero chemistry? I don't know how that happened. This book had the most interesting sort of romance that I had ever read. So I just think I really enjoyed this one. And you know what? It's fine that people didn't like it. The point of this video is honestly, I think, just breaking my heart. So I don't know how else to really say it. Okay guys, the next book that I'm going to be reading one-star reviews of is Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross. This is one of my most recent 5-star reads. I fell in love with this book, and I fell in love with Roman. I fell in love with just this historical almost romance. It just felt so old-timey to me. It just felt so romantic and beautiful. And I think that if anyone rates this lower than a 4 stars, honestly, it'll break my heart. So reading 1-star reviews of this book, like I don't even know how I'll cope with it, but let's do it. Okay. The average rating of this book is a 4.34 stars, which I feel like is pretty good. And we don't have a ton of 1 stars, which is very, very good. First off, okay, world building question mark, don't know her. I'm so sorry, but this book in my head literally needed no world building. It literally was so easy to get into. I felt like all you had to know was that there are gods, and that's literally it. Like, it had no world building. It didn't have any weird, like, fantasy elements. This is like the least fantasy book that I've ever read, and I feel like it did not warrant world building or world building to an extent. Like, I don't think that really makes sense in terms of like the way this book was made. It didn't really need world building because it was so easy to get into, and it wasn't like a super complicated story. To all the girls on Book Talk that recommended to read this after Fourth Wing, I hate you. Okay. Well, I'm not those girls on Book Talk, but I was led to read this book on Book Talk, and I could just say that sometimes Book Talk is good, sometimes Book Talk is bad, and the books that they sometimes recommend are not the best. Like Fourth Wing to me is a little overhyped. To me, this was literally all of the hype. Like, I feel like this was perfectly hyped. So I don't know. That's just you and me. We differ. OMG, I hate this book. I have to DNF. The author seems to be obsessed with wanting to write poetic prose think pieces on feelings than a solid point. She's genuinely better fitted to write columns and essays in newspapers herself than a fantasy novel? Are you kidding me? This is like the most romantic writing of a book that I've ever read. It was beautifully done. This person just said good. Okay. A beautiful and gripping tale of a girl and boy who take you on a voyage through beautifully written letters, secrets, and war. I wait with bated breath for the sequel. Why did you give this 1 star, Alexis, if you thought it was powerful and gripping? Okay. I think that's frankly all I can take from Divine Rivals because I'm feeling a little hurt, okay? But I feel like the next book is really just going to like elevate that. The Ballad of Never After by, oh my gosh, Stephanie Garber is one of my 6-star books. Just an incredible fantasy, beautiful, mwah. I've talked about this way too many times, but let's go ahead and hurt my heart. Why don't we? Did I rate the same book as everyone else? You did. So why don't you like it? Okay. perhaps a minority here, but I didn't enjoy it. The writing was amateurish. There was a lot of narrative pandering, events dragged on for chapters for no reason at all. The book could have just been summed in 10 chapters. Most of the plot was filler. I'm disappointed by this. It's so messy. The writing was amateurish? Stephanie Garber, are you gonna take that? Are you kidding me? This was the most magical book I've ever read. How is it amateurish? Okay. This one is just funny. It says, F you, I wanted to be happy. This book made me sad and annoyed. Give me the next one right now or else. How is that a 1 star? That should be a 5 stars. That's exactly how I feel. Most of these are about how they feel like Evangeline is a damsel in distress. And like, what's wrong with that? Like, that's a character. That's her character. That's what she's supposed to be. That's the whole point. Like, she is Evangeline. She is this damsel in distress. That's literally the whole point of her character. So I don't know why you are hating on something that is just what it is. Terrible as expected. Stephanie Garber, you will never be loved. Oh my gosh. That. Bring back book burning. No. All right, you know what? I'm getting way too heated. I'm getting hot. I'm getting mad. I can't read any more negative reviews of this book because it's honestly destroying me. It is destroying me. But the next book will also equally destroy me because I am doing House of Sky and Breath, and I know that this book is polarizing to some people for some odd reason, but let's see why. Can I just say that there's so many 5 stars for this book, which is so warranted. This book is just so incredible. Bro, no way. Didn't read it. I just hate seeing SJM fans happy. What did Sarah J. Maas ever do to you? That's just rude, Lainey. You didn't even read it and you rated it? How petty are you? Oh my gosh! Please let ACOTAR die? Why are we doing this? This is just a terrible... I realize it's not real. I was gonna give this one like 3 stars, which surprised me, but then this had to be the ending, and I'm telling you, there's rage and then there's what I'm feeling right now. If it's not happiness, then I'm very confused. Because that's what I felt reading the end of this. I needed to be airlifted to the hospital. Okay, here's another one. Haven't read it, but SJM doesn't deserve that high of an average rating. What are we doing rating a book that we haven't even read? Like, that just that alone makes me mad. Guess what? She's gonna keep having a great average rating because she's an incredible author and she can do no wrong. Okay, a lot of these are just hating on Sarah J. Maas. And while you can have an opinion about an author, so can I, and I love her, so. And now for our last book. We are going to be getting into Kingdom of Ash by Sarah J. Maas. This is the last book in the Throne of Glass series and my favorite book in this series. This book was just an incredible ending to that series, even though I never wanted to end. It just was such a beautiful conclusion to one of my favorite fantasy series of all time. And let's see what people have to say. This has an average rating of 4.65, which, you know, like, obviously. This is by far my least favorite Throne of Glass novel. What? So dramatic, quick with the short, choppy, incomplete sentences, this, overuse of the word this. All in all, every book the author ever wrote is smut for children. Okay, that one is a little confusing to me. I really don't understand that. Goodreads award for the most annoying book / series in existence of 2018. Terrible. This one is just funny. It is so loathsome. I want to give you a 0, but that's not possible, so I give you a 1. This is the longest book I've ever read, so that took me the most time to read. Okay, well, how does that warrant a bad rating? Because a book like this just covers so much important stuff, and it is important. It covers a whole war. It covers so much development, so it is going to be long. And if it took you a long time, that's completely fine because it's a long book. So why does that warrant a bad rating unless you just didn't like it? But I give up. I don't even care anymore. How do you not care about this? How do you just give up on them? How do you do that? Boring, rushed, and unimaginative. I don't think you're boring, rushed, or unimaginative. I think you're everything. A lot of these people are just saying, finally, I finished the series. Why are you giving it a 1 star then? Okay, you know what? I am getting too offended to people who just differ from opinions from me. And that's okay. Even though I'm like so heartbroken, that is a-okay because there's nothing I can do about it. So yeah, guys, before my heart like physically breaks and before I start crying, I'm gonna let you guys go. So I just want to thank you guys so much for watching this video. I just thought this was a fun idea because I saw it. I forget who filmed this video, but I just thought it was a really cute concept and a really fun idea. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you want me to do a version of reading like 5-star reviews of my least favorite books, I can do a variation of that as well. Just let me know down in the comments, and I will hopefully see you guys in my next YouTube video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, do all those things that you guys know how to do, and I will hopefully see you in my next one. Bye.